A man's life truly begins the moment he accepts responsibility, not the forced kind, not the responsibilities handed to him by society, but the sacred kind, the ones he chooses to carry, the ones that shape him, the ones that carve his character into something he himself respects. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "At dawn, when you have trouble getting out of bed, tell yourself, I have work to do as a human being." This wasn't about productivity. It was about responsibility. It was his reminder that a man's duty is not to comfort, but to purpose. Not to ease, but to meaning. Because without responsibility, a man drifts. And when he drifts, he becomes a stranger to his own potential. Carl Jung believed that every man carries a shadow, the part of him that resists, avoids, hides, and escapes. And the only way to integrate this shadow is through responsibility. Through facing the tasks, the truths, and the burdens you would rather avoid. It is responsibility that forces the shadow out of darkness and into maturity. In every culture, in every ancient story, men were defined not by their desires, but by their duties. The protector, the builder, the guide, the man who stands when others collapse, the man who holds when others let go, the man who chooses the harder path, not because it is heroic, but because someone must walk it, and he refuses to leave it to someone weaker than himself. Responsibility is not the weight that breaks a man. It is the weight that builds him. It sharpens him. It gives him direction. It gives him presence. And presence is the true essence of masculinity. Not loudness, not aggression, but grounded strength, the kind that can be trusted, leaned on, and felt. A man with responsibilities becomes a man with identity, because responsibility creates discipline, and discipline creates structure, and structure creates self-respect. A man cannot respect himself if he is running from his duties. He cannot grow if he avoids challenges. He cannot know his own power if he refuses to carry anything heavy. If you look closely, the most miserable men in the world are not the ones with the most pressure. They are the ones with none. No direction, no mission, no one depending on them. No reason to wake up with intention. Comfort destroys men far more ruthlessly than responsibility ever will. You do not become a man when you reach a certain age. You become a man when you stop blaming, stop escaping, and stop waiting for someone else to rescue you. You become a man the moment you tell yourself, this is mine to handle. Not because you must, but because you can. And this is where masculinity transforms. When a man carries responsibility, his energy shifts. He becomes more grounded, more aware, more purposeful, more stable. And stability is one of the deepest masculine virtues. It isn't flashy. It isn't loud. It doesn't demand attention. But it is the foundation upon which trust, love, and leadership are built. Responsibility also connects a man to something spiritual. Because when you choose to take ownership of your life, your actions, your habits, your emotions, your relationships, your dreams, you awaken a part of your soul that was asleep. The part that knows you were built for more than distraction, more than pleasure, more than escape. You were built to build, built to protect, built to create, built to carry what is yours to carry. Every man has an inner king, warrior, magician, and lover, the four archetypes described by Jungian psychology. But none of these archetypes can fully emerge without responsibility. The king collapses without order. The warrior collapses without discipline. The magician collapses without mastery. The lover collapses without purpose. Responsibility is what activates them. It is the key that unlocks the masculine soul. If you want to become someone powerful, not in a dominating way, but in a grounded, peaceful, reliable way, take responsibility for the things you've been avoiding. Your habits, your health, your finances, your healing, your reactions, your triggers, your future, your ability to be someone others can depend on. Masculinity is not about controlling others. It is about controlling yourself. And the man who controls himself controls his life. Responsibility is the sacred duty of a man because it reveals who he really is. It shows his strength, his values, his courage, and his integrity. Anyone can dream. Anyone can desire. Anyone can talk. But a man who carries responsibility quietly, consistently, and with dignity becomes unstoppable. This is who you are meant to become. Not a man running from pressure, but a man shaped by it. Not a man seeking comfort, but a man creating it. Not a man avoiding responsibility, but a man who chooses it because he understands its power. In the end, masculinity is not defined by image, not by success, not by status, but by this simple truth. A man is the responsibilities he chooses to carry. And when you accept this, you do not just become stronger, you become whole.